because many women can't orgasm. So in order to get a woman to that point, we need longer than 5 to 7 minutes, and about 20 to 40, unfortunately.
40? Wow.
I know you said
40? Yo, what is up, AD team? Austin back again with another video. Today I am joined with a special guest, Janelle. She is an intimacy expert, aka a sexpert, that helps couples kind of ignite their intimate sex life in a better way and help men perform better, help women perform better, etc. And that is the topic of today's video. We are going to be discussing how guys can last longer, the best ways you can do so, because I've read my messages. A lot of you guys out there kind of experience premature ejaculation. So hopefully these tips help. Subscribe, like the video. Don't forget to check out Janelle, the links down below. Let's go ahead and get into the first point.
All right, thanks so much for having me on, Austin. This is like the top question that men have. I ask all the guys that I collab with, and I'm always like, what do you want me to give to your, your followings to add value? And they're like, how to last longer? I'm like, really? And it's the same one. So I got my little notes here. I have 10. So if you want the list of 10, you got to sub to my channel. And then I have like a whole list that I send you. And then I send you a bonus too on intro into jelking. So you really want to do this.
Oh, jelking. I used to do that when I was 16.
Did you really? How'd you learn about jelking?
Because I got really involved in like these enhancement form. I used to research about everything when I was younger.
Wow.
That's how I learned about female to male dynamics, and a part of that I learned about jelking. And I would try to do it every night.
Wow, that is incredible. So it's a tantric practice. It's like it's not really tantric, but the tantrics used it too. We'll say that. It started over in Asia. So, and it's a whole little sequence. But yeah, so okay, so we're gonna start with the first one. So the number one way to last longer, and I know this sounds a little bit like, how do you do that? How do I last longer, and if that's what I'm working on? But it's semen retention. Semen retention will make you last longer. Why is that? Well, if you are not losing your ejaculation and you're injaculating, you're pulling it back into the body, you're not losing that, what we call vital energy, aka OJAS, O-J-A-S. You're pulling that in, so you're having more vital energy. And vital energy is what's needed for you to last longer, to get an erection and to last longer. Vital energy comes from the ground, from the earth. It's like, if you know anything about energy centers or chakras, it comes from the root, the perineum, if you've heard.
So you're saying if
practice of semen retention.
Retain their semen and they go and have a sexual experience, potentially they could last longer?
They will last longer. It's not even potential. So if you learn the art and the master, if you learn to practice semen retention, once you've started to really kind of master that practice, or even just if you're flirting with it and you're getting results, you'll notice that those results are that you last longer when you're having sex. Because the average man lasts between 5 and 7 minutes, like the length of this video.
Yeah.
It's over.
And YouTube videos
done. It's a wraps, everything.
Yeah. But actually, this is going off topic a little bit. I've noticed within animals, of course, we're animals to a degree.
Yeah.
But animals always have sex really fast, right?
They do.
Versus humans, is taught that it's almost bad for sex to last a short period of time.
Yeah, because you have to understand, and we're sentient beings, right? With animals, they're conscious, they have consciousness, but they don't have a consciousness, meaning like they don't have like a right or wrong, or this is like they're living, breathing organisms, or organisms. Orgasms is all I think of. I can't think of anything but orgasms. Shit, man. But there's a different level of consciousness that animals have than we have. So you're talking about sex between a man and a woman. There should be a level of intimacy that's happening during sex. Otherwise, we are just animals.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we've evolved too much as a species to just be an animal. And beside the fact that many women, some men don't care, rather, but many men actually do care if their woman orgasms. I know a lot of men in the red pill are like, whatever, we don't care.
It's good.
It's the box or whatever, like, those guys on FNF side. But it's a lot of men, like, there's a level of like, if I made my woman orgasm, like, that's a level like, oh man, I did that. Because many women can't orgasm. So in order to get a woman to that point, we need longer than 5 to 7 minutes, and about 20 to 40, unfortunately.
40. Wow.
I know you said
40?
like,
That's a
damn.
long time.
In Tantra, like a quickie is like an hour.
Yeah, I say that's a long time from the male perspective because
Like,
in my experience, like I've realized whether or not sex is good is almost fully dependent on the guy. Like is most of us doing the work, is it's very cardio intensive.
Women are just there to look good. I mean, if they're good, they know what to do a little bit, but it is contingent upon the man getting an erection, maintaining an erection, maintaining the performance, leading it,
yeah.
being able to tune it. If he's really good, tune into his woman and understand what she's experiencing. If she's faking it, which most of the time they are, it's a lot of pressure on the men. That's why I tell women all the time, I'm like, you gotta leave the men alone. Like, they have a hard time, like literally, to get hard, to stay hard.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of energy that takes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is CMOS. So CMOS is the ticket. Have you heard of CMOS?
It's like a supplement, right?
Yes, it's a supplement that is from the sea, and then I actually have my own line, but basically it's soaked, and then the CMOS has 91 minerals in it, including iodine. Iodine is a huge regulator of hormones. So creating more testosterone, creating stronger, longer erections. So we always tease, like, in the Tantra world, like if your man's not getting an erection or not lasting long, you just put some CMOS in a smoothie, give it to him. He won't even know it. He'll start being like, what? And it happens very quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, CMOS is a great component to start adding into the diet. So the next one is super, probably one of the most common ones, no prawn. Like, give it up. I feel like this has been beat to death, literally. But like, we know.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. Like, we know this is a bad look for men. And I feel like the sooner men can really start mastering this practice, it's going to be a better look for them and being able to enjoy sex more, because men get addicted to these pixels, and they go looking for these scenarios in real life, and those scenarios don't happen. How many guys are getting threesomes and gangbangs and all this sort of stuff, or women,
crazy fantasies,
it's just not happening. And then they need that type of specific stimulation, because they have synapses that have fired and wired together that are now telling them that if I only have this kind of scenario, this is how I'm going to get an erection and how to get off. If I don't have that, I can't do it.
Gotcha. So how does no porn tie into premature ejaculation? Because that's more ED, right?
Well, I think it's both, or as far as getting the maintaining erection, premature. Well, PE is two things. One, it's like an overstimulation, right? And then they're like, they can't even, it's like too much excitement, and then it happens before it happens. Now, PE for men can also be some kind of negative association, whether it's like a trauma or it could be an overstimulation too. So in the case of porn, that's overstimulation. A lot of, and it just depends on the guy how it works. For a lot of guys, it'll go the other, they can never come. And then for other guys, it's too fast. It just depends on how their brain-body connection, how it works.
Gotcha.
But it's overstimulation.
Yeah.
So and that brings me into one of the next points of how to last longer is you have to dissipate some of the sexual energy with women. So if you're not able to last long, are we talking with ED or PE? Which one are we talking about? We're talking about premature. Last longer. Yeah. So for this one, I sort of group them into the same because they have a lot of the same components, but they are different as well. PE, a lot of times it's just an overstimulation, there's too much excitement, and then it just takes over. Or negative or traumatic association attached. Now, many men, a lot of times maybe they're not used to getting sex, like we just talked about, right? They're used to simping, they're used to paying girls for energy. So then they finally get a girl, or watching prawn. That's what they become accustomed to. So then they get into a real life scenario, and they're like, ugh! Because prawn, first of all, has conditioned them. And then second, because they're not used to having sex. So what we say is, how do we fix that? You fix that extra long foreplay, which is something guys don't really like to do, because they're like, I don't want to do oral, I don't really know what's going on down there. But what happens is, I'll tell you how it works in your favor. If you can do foreplay, and it'd be both ways, but it's really more about expelling her energy, because she has a lot of sexual energy. Remember, her anatomy is inside of her. So it's like coming to someone's house. Like I come into your house and it's like masculine energy, black everywhere. There's not a lot of color. If you come into my house, there's like color and like candles and trinkets and lots of like very feminine. And so when you step into my house, you like smell incense, sage, oils, Kama Sutra. You're like, wow, I'm in India. And you get swept into that energy, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you enter a woman. You're like pulled into her energy field. So her energy milks you and takes your semen. So what do? You got to dispel some of that energy. And that means you got to get rid of some. So make her have help her have an orgasm first before you penetrate her. That way, when you do go inside, there's not as much sexual energy because she's already released that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So whether you do, fingering or a toy or oral or something to help her orgasm, so that when you actually get inside, you're not as excited because you're like, calm down, she already came, it's easier.
I think longer foreplay, or at least good foreplay too, could put less pressure on the men.
That's right. To perform.
Yeah.
Because men have a crazy they call it performance anxiety for a reason.
Yeah.
You know? And then the last one, oh yeah, you guys aren't gonna like this one. If you're really, really struggling with this and you want to get it fixed quick, you gotta give up meat for a hot minute.
Give up who?
Meat.
Meat. What's that?
Yeah, like eating meat.
Oh, meat.
Because especially, I know, you're like, what is that?
I thought it meant like money, energy, attention, time.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Actual meat.
The actual meat.
Chicken.
Beef, especially beef or pork takes sometimes a week to 10 days to sit in your stomach because it doesn't digest all the way. Yeah. So why is it important to give up meat when you're trying to overcome PE? Well, because remember, your body is a circulatory system, right? What do you need to get an erection? Good circulation.
Blood flow, yeah.
Good blood flow. If your body is sitting there like constricted because it's trying to digest and process meat, you're not helping eggplant get that circulation so that he can stand at attention and be ready to work. So giving up going plant-based, and again, I know most people probably won't do this indefinitely as a lifestyle, but doing it until you can really kind of, overcome that. Or doing maybe, little cleanses. It's good for the environment, all this stuff. It's not about turning into a hippie or turning into a woman. It's just like giving your body a little reset. You should detox. You should do a little reset on your body, especially if you eat meat heavily 2 to 4 times a year anyway. Just do a little cleanse. No meat. You'll feel leaner, you'll feel lighter, and then you can go back to all the meat and stuff. But definitely this is one of the main things we recommend for how to last longer.
Gotcha. Do you think just reducing meat intake instead of like completely going plant-based can help too?
Oh, yeah, reducing. I was just saying like while you're really having a hard time, like just give it all up just to kind of reset, and then you can, like take it back into something that's more sustainable for your lifestyle. Absolutely. Okay. But I think just going a little cold turkey, especially, if I have clients that are like, I just look at a woman and it's over, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, do you watch Prawn? Yeah.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Yeah. Why? Their brain has been wired now to look for the scenario. Then when they see a real woman, they're like, it's just like, it was crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard stories from women about guys literally ejaculating in the makeout session. Like they haven't even touched them yet.
Yeah.
Crazy stories,
Yes. Mastery, self-mastery, guys.
So guys, those were 5 interesting ways on how you can last longer. Definitely be sure to try them out. And also we will be doing a very interesting segment on Patreon down below on how to actually make a woman orgasm better and more often. Also, don't forget to check out Janelle, her channel. Where can they find you?
Janelle Gordon. And the ofactors.com.
Awesome. Subscribe, like the video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.